Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Be Uplifted. In today's episode, you will learn just how to manifest what you need 10 times faster in 2023. If you want to manifest your dreams, the law of attraction can be very helpful. Dr. Joe Dispenza breaks down in this video how you need to mentally practice the feeling you want and create the neurological hardware in your brain to actually access this thing. Remember that your emotions affect your thoughts as well as the law of attraction, so it is imperative that you let go of your negative emotions and open your energy channels to attract the right things. After studying personal information over a decade, Dr. Joe Dispenza has mastered the art of eliminating stress and finding positive energy, finding positivity, and being able to manifest what you want at the right time. The relationship between your mind and your physical health is important. According to Dr. Joe, the secret to manifesting is focusing your thoughts as well as your energy on what you want. Manifesting involves thinking positive thoughts and taking decisive action. While it sounds easier said than done, yes, it may sound like a difficult concept, but when done properly, it can work faster than you think. Manifestation is a process that allows you to co-create with the universe. This means that by taking small, daily steps, deliberate efforts each morning towards your goal, you will increase your chances of receiving what you want. But by doing this at the pace and with the teachings from Dr. Joe Dispenza, you will be able to unlock this much faster as you head into this new season. Listen closely as Dr. Joe Dispenza explains just how you can use these tips and manifestation techniques to attract the things you need, whether wealth, health, relationship, love, or even stress relief in your life as soon as you finish watching this video.
The moment you become conscious of those unconscious thoughts and you decide not to put your attention and your energy behind them, that's a victory. In other words, the moment you start noticing those thoughts and instead of reacting to them, just observing them, you are beginning to know thyself. So many of us have heard the term be present or stay in the now. But what does that really mean? Many individuals talk about meditation as a tool to become present. But from a scientific point of view, I want to offer you a new way to understand what it means to be fully present and how you can use your meditation practice to transcend your body, your environment, and time in order to reach the sweet spot of the generous present moment. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and in the previous episode, we went into depth on how change works in the brain and body. But how do we get really focused on this change? In this episode, we're going to demystify meditation and show you how to get into the present moment so you can focus on creating a new personality and thus a new personal reality. This will help you understand a fundamental part of becoming supernatural, which is to get past the analytical mind. Let's start with the first question. What does the word meditation mean? Now, the word meditation, if you research the symbol in Tibetan, the word literally means to become familiar with. Now, familiarization means then if 95% of who you are by the time you're 35 years old is a set of hardwired thoughts, unconscious automatic habits and behaviors, and reflexive emotional reactions that define our personality. That means 95% of who we are typically runs in an unconscious or subconscious program. Then the first start to change is becoming conscious of your unconscious thoughts, beginning to become aware of your automatic actions and behaviors. And when you begin to notice how you're feeling, as you're beginning to observe and become familiar with those states of mind and body, you are now no longer the program living unconsciously. Now you're becoming conscious of your unconscious self. So think about this. Many people quit in their meditation practice because they don't think they can control their mind. Well, if you're thinking 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day, the majority of those thoughts are the same thoughts as the day before. And they're hardwired, automatic attitudes and thoughts. They're typically happening behind the scenes of your awareness. Thoughts like, I'll never change, it's too hard, my life isn't very good, I'll never find love in my life, I'll never find the right job. These are the thoughts that people think constantly every day. So then when those thoughts start coming to the surface in their meditation practice, the moment they start realizing they can't control those thoughts, they give up. And they buy into the belief that they're not very good at meditation. But let's start by framing this a little differently. The moment you become conscious of those unconscious thoughts, and you decide not to put your attention and your energy behind them, that's a victory. In other words, the moment you start noticing those thoughts, and instead of reacting to them, just observing them, you are beginning to know thyself. If you notice then in your meditation practice that your body is in a program and it's busy every single day doing a lot of things, and it wants to get up and go do something, it wants to begin to habituate on autopilot, and you become aware that your body wants to do that. And instead of responding to the body as the mind and getting up and quitting, if you can settle it back down into the present moment, that's a victory as well, because you're saying then that your body is no longer the mind. You're the mind, and those victories add up. Every time you work on overcoming some aspect of your old personality, there's a liberation of energy. And we've measured this on students all around the world, because as they keep returning the body back into the present moment, the body is the servant to the mind, and just like training any animal, sooner or later it's going to acquiesce. And when it does, there is a liberation of energy. And that's available energy for you to use to heal. That's available energy for you to begin to create a new future. So then we said in the last episode that the process of change is breaking the habit of the old self and reinventing the new self. It's pruning synaptic connections and sprouting new connections. So it makes sense then, if you are going to transition from the old self to the new self, and you decide, what thoughts do I want to fire and wire in my brain? And you begin to put all of your energy in installing those thoughts neurologically in your brain. The act of firing and wiring over and over again begins to assemble new neurological networks. Now, neural networks are gangs of neurons that have been fired and wired together that relate to a thought, a memory, a behavior. The body begins to assemble new circuits, so it becomes more automatic. So it makes sense then, if you keep firing and wiring those thoughts and they begin to assemble into automatic neurological networks, and you do it over and over again, those thoughts are going to begin to become familiar to you. Then the thought in your mind literally becomes the experience, and experience enriches the brain. Now, let's look at another way to understand meditation. If we know that we're living in a state of the familiar past, or we're living in the state of the predictable future, and the familiar past represents the known, and the predictable future represents the known as well, and the sweet spot of the generous present moment represents the unknown, then in order for us to truly begin to make significant changes, where our body isn't influencing our mind, where our environment isn't controlling our feelings and our thoughts, then it makes sense then that the first step that we have to use in order to meditate is to sit our bodies down and close our eyes and disconnect from everything known in our outer environment. Less sensory information is coming into the brain. Now, all of a sudden, your inner world starts becoming more real than your outer world. If you can sit your body down and, like training that animal, saying to your body, you stay. I'm going to feed you. You can check your emails. You can check your texts. You can post anything on Facebook. You're going to get a shower. You're going to get a cup of coffee. But right now, you're no longer the mind. I'm the mind. Your body's in a program. And where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And the moment you're sitting in your meditation and you start putting your attention on the emotions, familiar emotions that are connected to the past, the moment you start thinking about those memories and feeling those emotions, it makes sense then that you're siphoning your attention and energy out of the present moment into the past. And if you're sitting there thinking about phone calls you have to make, the meetings you have to go to, the shopping list you have to get to, those are all known things in your predictable future reality. And every time you put your attention on some predictable future, you're siphoning energy out of the present moment into the predictable future. And now your energy is completely commingled with that line of time. So then when you become aware that your attention is on those emotions and you become aware and return your attention back to the present moment, you're disinvesting your attention and energy out of your past present reality, and you're calling it back to you. Every time you do that, it's a victory, and those victories add up. Now, the stronger the emotion that you feel for some problem or condition in your life, the more you pay attention to the cause. Now, if where you place your attention is where you place your energy, if you're sitting in your meditation and you're feeling a very strong emotion that's connected to some problem or some person, we could say then that you're giving your very life force away to that person or that problem. And that's available energy that you could be using to create a new future. So then as you sit in your meditation practice and your body is used to at 8 o'clock in the morning checking emails and getting frustrated and judgmental, your body's going to notice that you're off schedule. And it's looking for those chemicals. If you're aware that your body is doing that, and you settle your body back down into the present moment, and you lower the volume to that emotion, you're going to take your attention off that person or that condition in your life. And yes, it takes a greater level of awareness, a greater level of energy, to begin to break those energetic bonds with everything in your past, present reality that you're connected to emotionally. So then when a person finally starts to overcome those emotions, all of a sudden they start calling energy back to them, and they begin to build their own electromagnetic field. And now they have available energy to design a new destiny.